I would say good morning, everybody, but I'm just not feeling the whole good thing. Meditation was a real struggle for me today. I didn't want to be there. I didn't want to see what was coming up. I didn't want to feel it. I just wanted to run and hide. I wanted to get up and distract myself and not experience what I'm experiencing. And I kept checking the clock. I mean, I checked it 20 minutes in, 30 minutes in, 40 minutes in, 50 minutes in, 55 minutes in, and a couple of times when I checked it, I'm like, are you kidding me? It's almost as if I got in here and talked about pain a few days ago, and the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, was like, really? Are you really there, Arlene? Can you sit with pain? Because we're ready for you. We're ready to take you to the next level. We've been waiting for you. So here, let me give you this and give you some growth, and let's go to the next level. And it's like all of the guardians and the guiders and everything are like, yeah. And I'm over here like, are you kidding me? I know there's one point during meditation where I'm like, this shit isn't even working. I was like, cool. We're still gonna do it. Me and the other person who have needed to have a discussion for many days finally sat down last night and had a talk. Their experience was their experience is we talk about stuff all the time. And it was interesting because I'm sitting there listening. I'm in an open heart space. I did not let the ego run the show at all. Even though I was talking to the other person's ego the whole time, the mind, whatever you want to call it. I mean, they were just locked up like Fort Knox. And my ego really wanted to change that. My ego wanted to respond to that, you know. My ego had so many mean, hurtful things to say, like, you know, and I guess a good analogy for that is this is how I felt in that moment, okay? I felt like I was outside of Fort Knox and my life depended on getting inside. And so, I mean, the ego's way is force. So, you know, the ego just wanted to pick up all these tools and just start knocking on those walls and trying to knock them down and just create an experience in the other person that maybe they would show up for me. But that's not the commitment I made to myself. I did not go into that conversation. I mean, I've made a commitment to myself since last Friday, which was what, four days ago. Yeah, today doesn't really count because it just started, although it feels like it's already been a really long day. I committed to myself 4 days ago when the person first said to me, from a very calm, inviting place, which I was quite excited about. I do have something I need to talk to you about. I just don't know how to talk about it. And so I was like, okay, well, you got to maintain a space. You got to stay in this open heart space so that you could allow what needs to come up and what needs to be said, you know? You got to create a safe space. It didn't matter what I created. It didn't matter what I said. It didn't matter how open my heart was. I'm still on the outside of Fort Knox, still full of hope. I mean, I can see that this building is like just like the most secure place in the world. Like, you literally have to have all the keys to all the locks. You got to have the in card. I mean, you got to know the right people. You got and I'm sitting outside of Fort Knox and I'm knowing that I don't have any of the keys. I don't know any of the people. And there's no way in the world that I'm going to get through these walls, but I still sat outside of Fort Knox, full of hope. Because I was connected to my heart. And I wanted to change it. I wanted to change it. And I didn't want to sit with the pain last night after the conversation was over. And the only thing that was different is that we actually talked. Both of us talked. I mean, I've had many conversations with this person and it's been one-sided. Like, that's one of the examples, you know, I'm listening to them talk last night about how we talk about stuff all the time. And with all this new information and stuff I have in my brain, it was really easy for me to be like, yeah, you know, here's just more proof that everything we experience in this world is simply our perspective of it. It's how we see it based on where we've been and what we've done and what we've experienced in the past. And so those are their filters. And my filters are my experience, and my experience is we have never talked. We never worked through anything. We just sweep it under the rug after it's been going on for a minute because we miss each other so much, and we truly do have deep love for each other. And so it's easy to just go to that place of just reconnecting and not being in pain, but never really having any resolution. And so a good analogy of that is, you know, like when you're at the ocean and you've heard stories about don't get into the water, there's undercurrents that you can't see and they'll sweep you away, and you can see the waves on top of the water, or you can see the calmness of the water, but you can't see what's going on underneath. It doesn't mean it won't suck you in. It doesn't mean it won't have an effect on you. And that's what I feel like all of these unresolved issues between me and this person have become. They've become an undercurrent in the relationship, and I want to do something differently with it. And I don't think the other person does. I don't think the other person wants to move into a deeper space with me or have a deeper connection with me. And I have to be okay with that, even if I don't like it. And that's where it's really hard. That's where it's really hard. I feel like I'm a dirty fish tank, or a clean fish tank, I should say. It just looks dirty. And what I mean by that is, you know, when you go to clean your fish tank, you take out 80% of the water and you pour in clean water, and the tank looks dirtier than it did when you started, but it's actually cleaner. I'm so stirred up right now. All of my stuff is stirred up, and all of the stuff that's connected to the undercurrent in this relationship is stirred up. So this is years of pain, you know? Years of unresolved issues, years of shoving my stuff down, years of not feeling valued. And so it's really hard. It's really hard for me right now to stay in this centered place and to just let the universe unfold exactly how it's supposed to with this situation, with all things in my life right now. You know, starting a new business, just, there's so much of it that's really uncomfortable. And I love that. I don't really love that right now, but I keep telling myself that because eventually my resistance to whatever's happening goes away. Actually, that's a Kyle Cease thing, you know. He says anything that comes up, you just say, and I love it. And it really has been such a freeing technique that I actually had a bracelet made with it. Here, I'll show it to you guys. And I love it. It does help. Like, I'm in meditation and I'm like, I'm angry. And I love it. And I know that anger has a bad rap. And for some people, maybe it is an emotion they shouldn't spend any time in. But for me, anger is a way of me knowing that I value something and that I have a voice that needs to be heard. And so sometimes I can only start speaking or standing up for myself once I've reached that point of anger. Once I'm like at that, okay, I am not okay with this, to the point I'm mad about it. And so then that pushes me to talk about it. But saying, and I love it, to the anger today is saying, it's okay. I mean, there was stuff coming up in meditation like, I don't even think this shit's working. I'm like, cool. We're going to sit here. We're going to stay right here, Arlene. And I went into meditation like wanting to find freedom, and if you put a prerequisite on your meditation session, you're just going to mess it all up. You got to let it free flow. You got to let it be exactly what it needs to be in that moment, even if it's uncomfortable. I mean, I've had meditations where I've literally just giggled all the way through it. And not because I was having a particular thought or anything, but because I was in this blissful, joyful place, you know, and I get out of those meditations and I'm like, fuck yeah, man, I love meditation. And there's other times I'm in meditation and I just have really quiet tears running down my cheeks the whole time. And I feel better when I get out and I'm like, fuck yeah, I love meditation. But right now, since I'm trying so hard to get out of pain and have been since Friday, I'm trying to set the tone for meditation. I'm trying to project onto meditation exactly what I want, and I'm getting in my own way. We always get in our own way. We always do, and we always think that, you know, however we're feeling in any moment is what life is for us right then, and it's not. It's a moment, sit with it, let it come up, let it pass. If it needs to hang out for a minute because it's been so long since you've allowed it to come even this close, then let it sit there. Let it sit however long it wants. And I'm sitting here telling you this stuff like it's easy, but no, I'm struggling with it. It is moment by moment right now. I mean, I get involved in an activity and it kind of goes away and but it's not comfortable. I'm not comfortable at all. And I know that means that something good's coming, something's going to change, something's going to show up, something's going to be different. And I've made a commitment to myself to just show up and experience life on life's terms. And that's including the pain and the discomfort. And you guys don't know how bad I want to get out of it. I just want to run, sit in a corner, and stand up all at the same time. Like, here I am, this is how I feel, take me or leave me, support me or drop me. And then I also want to sit in the corner and be like, go away. Leave me alone. You don't really love me. You don't really care about me. You care about yourself. You care about where you're at and how you feel. So even though I'm still sitting outside of Fort Knox, I'm not sitting there with this little thing of hope. I'm now looking at me. Why are you sitting outside of Fort Knox, Arlene? Because I want the riches inside. We'll rob that motherfucker. No. You know, I heard something a really long time ago. There's a lady, Marianne Williamson, which was just so guided and so aha moment through so many of the things that she shared many years ago. Yeah, this has been a very long process for Arlene, but for the most part, she's never stayed committed to it enough to really get anywhere. So even though I don't want to be sitting here with you guys today, I don't. I didn't want to open this video. I didn't want to come in here and be heavy. I wanted to be a place of light and make you guys feel good and make you have good thoughts. But that's not what this channel's about. This is the truth. This is real. This isn't Facebook. This isn't the news. This is just real. This is real. I'm in pain and I'm uncomfortable and I got to sit with it. And I want you guys to see that you can sit with it. I didn't want to be heavy. And therein lies the rub. I am resisting what is real right now. I am in pain. There's stuff coming up. There's stuff being released. There's things being discovered. There's things being let go of. And what I was going to tell you guys about Marianne Williamson is she says this. She says a few things. And one of them was, when the creator is like trying to decide like what two people would be really good together, he doesn't look at the love, that they're going to necessarily bring each other or all the good foo-foo-y stuff. He knows that the planet is in trouble and that the only way we grow and move is if we are challenged or we are in pain. So he's like, okay, we got this person over here. It's got all this stuff going on. We got this person over here, all this. We're just going to bring them together to do all of their maximum learning experience. So even though it's really hard to say this, I'm going to say it all day. Hello, pain. What are you here to teach me? And I'm going to support me today, and I'm going to love me, and I'm going to hold me up, and I'm going to remind myself to just sit with it and be okay with exactly whatever comes up and exactly however I'm feeling. I'm not going to follow society's rules. I'm not going to follow anybody else's rules today but mine. And my rules and my commitment is to sit with myself no matter what comes up. Sit with the pain. Look at it. So that I can see maybe I'm drawing a monster that I shouldn't be afraid of. And so I can see where I'm resistant so that I can have some acceptance. Don't think it's easy. But I still believe in the process. And I still believe in me. And I believe in all of you guys. And I absolutely love all of your support. And I hope I gave somebody else permission to be exactly who they are in every given moment and experience exactly what they're experiencing. Not move to hide it, not move to change it for anybody or anything. I love you guys. I hope you have a great Tuesday. See you tomorrow.